Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today we're getting ready to have this building built, and originally the building was going to be 30 by 60, and then you can see it's not started yet, but even at that we've already expanded it. So now the building is 30 by 76. So we added a 16 by 30 end on it, and we're going to put this sawmill in it. But we've got our laser set up here, and it's just the old school style with the bubbles, but we'll get this turned on and spinning. And then we'll go down here and we'll figure out what grade we want this building pad to be. All right, so I'm not an expert, but I've got my level down there, my laser down there. And this spot, which is at the end of the building, is about a foot high. Okay, and then down here, which should be about the middle of the building, is just about perfect. And then it drops off from there. So right here at the end of that building, this is level. So everything that way is higher. So it would seem to me that I can scrape that off and level it and make everything this height right here. So let's go fire up the Case 450 and see how this goes. It'll be interesting. This is the second building pad I've ever tried to level, and the first one was for that building, and I did it with a tractor. But I've got kind of a secret weapon. My neighbor is a professional heavy equipment operator, and his dad is like the guru of it. So if I mess this totally up, Darren and his dad can get it fixed for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and be a little self-reliant and try this out. Definitely give us a like if you enjoy this content, and give me any comments that you like. It definitely helps. Okay, we'll be using our Case 450C dozer to make that building pad leveled out. So the first thing we'll do is check the oil and the water and make sure this thing's ready to go. And we're gonna keep an eye out for wasps and also black snakes. Both have been drawn to this thing a lot lately. We just changed this like 2 videos ago. Oh yeah, perfect. Look at that, full to the top. We're also good on hydraulic fluid. So let's fire it up. We'll let it get warmed up and then we'll get to going. All right, so I don't know if that'll work or not, but that's our hillbilly grading system. So we're gonna try it out.
All right, now that it's set up and everything is ready to go.
Okay, so from the cab, you might not be able to see that, but I can. And I can see those bubbles on that level as well on both sides. Now then, once I start this machine, I probably won't hear that beeping anymore, but we'll try and see if that'll let us grade this. Okay, and like I said, we are learning, and like probably everybody already guessed, that little homemade hillbilly level system didn't really work out. So, not saying that a little bit of refinements couldn't make it, but basically we just had to learn to feel seat of the pants, and if you're headed downhill, raise the blade. If you're headed uphill, lower the blade. So, thanks a lot. Hey everybody, good morning. So we got a lot of this knocked out and graded off. What I'm starting to get into though is I've got a whole bunch of these stumps like this in here and a bunch of sticks and roots. So I'm gonna go through with my tractor using a root rake and get rid of some of this, and then I can put a finished grade on this. So I think we're pretty good progress for trying to just figure it out. Like I said, this is the first large scale grading project I've done with this old Case 450, and I'm coming out pretty good. I know this, it's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. Here's this drainage swell I put in through here, and there's the edge of the building. It's gonna be over there. So this will be the back side. And coming down out of the woods, there was a pretty good water erosion line that I followed through there anyway. So I crowned this and tapered it into that ditch and then cut that off to also make it go into the ditch. So that's the plan. Got a lot more cleanup to do, but I think that's gonna work really well. You can see how much lower it is back here. This hill drops off into a ravine, but there were just a bunch of stump holes and stuff still in here. So I kind of just smoothed this area out and then worked some of the ground up there so that the back of the barn isn't so much lower than the front. But that's where I started running into all these root balls. So let's get the tractor with the root rake and get this cleaned up. All right, so I just spent about an hour with the tractor and the root rake picking up roots and stumps. And now I'm gonna take the dozer and just grade that out. So what I've got is, I had the original grade where I wanted it on the right down here. And when I made that swell, I just pushed all the dirt up to that point, because over here at the left end, it's lower. So if I just carry that extra material across here and smooth it out, we should be pretty darn close. And then what I'm gonna go do is get a bunch of the manure and spread it around the outside of this and plant grass and mix that all in, and we should have a nice yard around our barn whenever they decide to get here to build the barn. All right, so back out here this morning. So I did take the skid steer and just moved a few piles of dirt around to kind of fix some of the low spots with this, but we've got it pretty much in shape where we want it. Now what I'm gonna do is just take the bulldozer and flatten it out, and we should be good. I'm gonna try and pack it in a little bit as well. A lot of this dirt is really loose right now. So like I said, I'll just track this in and squish it. You can see here's the bulldozer, or you can see these are skid steer tracks. So like I said, it compacts pretty well, but we've got it flat for the most part, and got all the trees pushed back, and I put a drainage ditch over there and another little drainage swell over there. So any water that comes out of the woods or down that driveway should just go right around this building. And then here at the end, because I leveled this out, it does have a drop off back here, but on the outside of this building, I might park a few things back here that don't get used often, but basically the purpose of this building is to get everything under roof. Okay, and the first thing we got to do this morning is fix our little exhaust flapper. So I stopped and got a stop nut and get that put on. Looked up yesterday and the flapper was just kind of hanging sideways. The reason to use a stop nut is then we can keep it from falling off without being over tightened. There we go. Now it'll freely go, but this won't vibrate off. Cool. So we ran for about 2 hours total yesterday. And our oil's still looking good, still nice and clean. Okay, let's get it fired up. Let it warm up for a second, and then we're going to go and track all this in and squish it down, get it compacted. Well, here's our building site, and it is flat and it is smooth and it looks good. So that took me about 6 hours of work total, and about 4 of that was on the bulldozer. And I'll tell you what, I have a tremendous amount of respect for anybody that can grade with a bulldozer and do it well, because I'm just learning, and what you need seat time, and I got about 4 hours of seat time because the other 2 hours I spent with the tractor and the skid steer. So I think it looks pretty good. All right, well, this old Case 450 did a nice job, and I can't tell you how happy I am to have it. And like I said, I spent about 4 hours of seat time on it, and I'm starting to be able to feel when it's going up or down or leaning one way or the other and correcting with the blade. I just have to go slow. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. It definitely helps the channel, and we invite you to subscribe to see more. Have a great day and be safe.